Hello guys, and welcome back to another Fire Emblem Fate modding tutorial. My name is Lumi, and today we're going to go over how to make classes. This is the part 2 of about 3 or 4 parts depending on what you're really looking for. And classes are basically what controls your body sprites for the game, and as well as your stats and growths and ideas like that. So I'm going to go over a tutorial real quick with you guys to make it easy to understand how to make a class. So first off, we have the tab up here for core data. Class tab, you click on it, it opens up the classes. And remember, if you set up your Paragon correctly, everything should be fine here. Everything should be the same as shown in the other tutorial. But this is where all your classes are. There is a variant for each gender, besides Witch and Dreadfighter, and whatever the special ones are, like Songstresses and whatnot. There is going to be a variant of each class in different genders. But for the simplicity of this whole tutorial, we're going to just cover the ideas of what each part is and how it's done. All right. So classes are classified by using JID in the game. JID is just the beginning pronoun, or whichever you want to call it, in front of the title of the name. So for instance, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and make a new class. So at the bottom, it'll always make a brand new class here, okay? So let's say we're going to make a simple class that is copying the ideas of Samurai. So here is JID, then we underscore it, and let's call it Merc and Merc guy. Easy enough, right? Make sure that if you have anything with spaces, you put underscores in between them. The next thing is the name of it. So this is how the game will read the name. So MJID. M has to be in front so then the game recognizes that this is the name of what this ID is supposed to be. Underscore, and for simplicity's sake, keep it this way where the name is the same. Alright? Below this is where the actual title of the class will be. So we're going to call him Rockstar, just to make it simple. Next is the description. So we do this same way, MJID, but in between the Merc guy and MJID, we put an H to tell the game that this is the description, underscore once again, and we can do again before Merc guy. All right. Below this is the actual description of the class. So whenever someone's using a heart seal or a scroll that goes to this class, it will display this message. I will make it the strongest man alive. The FID has to do with portraits, which we'll go over in a different video. But as long as you are consistent with the naming scheme, if you put FID just like in these cases here, it's the same in each one. It'll follow through and it'll go here. So it would be in the portraits area, be FID Merc guy, and it will take it that way as well. All right, so now you're looking at the rest of the classes here, and I'll explain them how this works. If it's a class that is the first tier, tier 1s are basically going to be simple. They're done like this. So in Dark Mage, there's nothing here in the base class. So if this is just how it is, you keep it that way. So this class is a level 1 class. If you wanted to promote, you have to choose any of the options here that's available for you. So whenever you use the seal, I don't know why I don't know the name at the moment, but you guys know what seal I'm talking about, the Master Seal, there we go. You can choose what class for them to promote. And keep in mind, it has to be the correct gender when you do so. So in here, it's Master of Arms, and let's do, I'd say, Berserker. And I'm gonna do male for this case. So these are the classes they can promote when they hit level 10 and so on. The gender equivalent is just the opposite sex. You don't have to make one of this class. You can make it exclusive to just male, but this is an option. So if you want to make it simple, I'm not going to do a gender equivalent for this one. Base class only needs to be done if the class is an advanced class. So if you were a Master of Arms, it would go down to what the base classes were that it came from. So in this case, it would be Samurai and so on. Parallel class is just what part, like if it was Merc, if it was the Merc in Nor, because Merc is swordsman and for Nor, and Samurai is swordsman for Hoshido. Alright? These are what these mean here. Alrighty? Next, extra flags are simple. It's just if you want them to generate in those skirmishes, you do this. Same thing with this. If you want them to drop the item you give them, which we'll talk about later or in a different tutorial, you would enable these two. Move sounds are simple. Just take one from any of them that makes sense. So females and males have different sounds. You can do Toho L for that one, and someone have Toho M to make it more male-like and heavier. So in our case, let's just do Toho M. It makes it cooler. Smoke cloud, it's simple. If it's as infantry, you do an infantry. If it's a mounted unit, you do it as a mounted. And if it's a wolfskin monster, just go by how it works. DLC skill index doesn't really matter that much. I don't believe it doesn't very much of anything, honestly, but I kind of leave that as is. Enemies unknowns, it just depends on what you're needing it for. I won't explain it in this video exactly, and I'll have it written down somewhere else inside the tutorial. Alright, so now we're into the combat data. Combat data is self-explanatory. You have your bases, the player growths, which is you, the enemy growths when they're generated, the maximum stat that the class can possibly have whenever they're in that class, and the para bonuses whenever they are in this class. Same thing with skills. Skills are divided between the player character, which is the character you chose, let's say if it was Midori, and the class itself. And it goes by 5, 10, 15, 20, where 5 is the personal, I believe, and then 10 is the class. These are where you put your skills. Maximum sword XP and stuff like that, self-explanatory, same thing, is the maximum experience, which you can reference here at the weapons rank tab below weapon interaction in the main menu, and it'll tell you what the ranks are here. So S is 251 and so on. All right. Last but not least is the miscellaneous data. The only thing you really need to focus on here is the movement and the movement cost table entry. You can reference other classes depending on what you're making. So we're making this guy a swordsman, right? Most of the swordsman infantry characters have, or pretty much any of them actually, have a simple movement table. So spear fighters are 5, and then master of arms are 6. Sword Master 6, and so on. So if we're making him a tier 1 class, we're just going to do 5 for the movement and 5 for the cost entry. I'll pick random skills just to make it easy for you guys to see what's going on. Alright? And also let me go ahead and add a weapon rank for this one. So he can go up to B max with swords. There you go. Next are the flags. So the flags are important depending on what your intention is for the class. So let's say, for instance, the class is, if you wanted to make them female or recognized in game as a female, the flag female is what you require for that one. If you want the class to be like, just like the taguls or the, animals, just like how the kitsune and whatnot, it's this right here, the Lagoose flag. And a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory if you just read it. The random ones you see here, such as Ophelia, Leo, and Xander, are flags that tell the game that these are the weapons, like they're allowed to use the weapons of the royals. Same with Takumi and Ryoma. So, like, Shiro has Ryoma's tag because he's allowed to use his dad's sword. If Takumi's kid, I forgot his name, same case up here, same thing with Leo and Xander, and so forth. And then the royal vein can use dragon veins, it's self-explanatory again. So these are the flags that you would need to look at if you want to do specifics, which depends, again, on your personal preference. Alright, now that we go over the tabs here, we're going to copy and paste this on the way over to ROM 2. ROM 2 is where the visual of the class shows up in game. These are the assets, and unfortunately you can't carry them over when you do copies. It's the same case with items. If you remember in the item tutorial, you have to set things to where they should be visually shown, right? Alright, so we're going to add an entry. Here's a new one, right? the class name has to be up here in JID form. This way it tells the game that if this person is in this class, they are to assign these assets in that moment. So let's say we want him to look just like, I don't know. Make him look just like Xander, maybe. So Xander's a paladin, right? There are specifics to characters, but if we want to make it to where we just want to make it look like a paladin on foot, you would copy and paste these entries here. The body model and the texture. Again, it's self-explanatory. The body model is how the body will look like, and then the textures, oops. Nope, well, I shouldn't have done that. First tutorial. Well, it won't do anything. And then the texture is what the look of it will look like. Keep in mind also the model sizes and ideas like that, and so on. So we do this, and we do this. Oops, I did not copy paste the other part. Ha ha ha. Where is it? Paladin, right? There it is. Yes. I should be doing mail. I don't know if I did mail or not. Okay, I did. Good. Alright. The question mark at the end of these texture files is to let the game know that if you have multiple files and the multiple textures, I mean, it will choose depending on its faction. So you'll see examples like with this name. P at the end means player, A means ally, E means enemy, and I forgot what the last one is, but there's a Valide version, and I forgot what that icon is for, but it will call reference to those. Okay, just make sure you're looking at everything you want to keep the same. You don't have to do the exact as the initial entry, but it is up to you here to choose to do so. The last thing to look at here to copy and paste is animations. They need to have something to reference to be able to use, otherwise it won't even have any animations. It will default to basic regular stuff, right? So 2 ways you could do animations. One is you can go here to animation sets and look at SW. In this case, SW because it's a sword. M and F are different because of how they move, so I highly recommend you make sure you pay attention to the icons. So UAnim M order, this is SW0. SW0 is for Nor, SW1 is for Hoshido. That's how they separate their animations when it comes to names. So what you're going to look for is normally UAnim SW if you want to make it a specific animation for them to always use when in this class. So let's do this simple. He'll have this one here, UAnim order SW0. Okay, so every time that this person is in this class of Rockstar, he will use the mercenary attack animation. Alright, so our ROM 2 is done. You can tell it's done because it is right here with Rockstar and everything like that. We're going to close these out, and I'll hit save just to make it simple for now. Okay, we're going to get to the last part here, the important part, the sprites. So as you can tell, there is no sprite for the class. So when we go to classes, we go here, there is no sprite in its base class because there's no base class for this, which I need to actually look again here real quick if I'm doing it. Here we go. There are no classes, there's no sprite for the class if I were to give it to somebody. That's what I should be saying, honestly. Ignore what I said there. If I were to go to a character, let's make this simple. If I were to choose Ike and give him the Rockstar, he will not have anything here because the class does not have a sprite file. Sprites are very particular. The thing that you have to remember about sprites is you need to have everything, you need to make an entry, a copy paste entry to make it simple for yourself. So I'm going to show you an example of where I'm going to do this. All right, so where you dump your game or your mods, I guess, where you edit your stuff, right? This is my video tutorial. In most cases, you need to make this folder, and I'll show it to you as well. So in here, you need to make a folder called unit, and then from unit, it's going to be body, and inside the body folder, and make sure you follow the capitalization here, or the characterization, you will put the name of the class folder in here. So in this instance, I'm going to grab something from my current project, which is my main mod. Let's see here. Let's grab a sprite from Alm. Make it easy, right? So Alm's body. Where are my files out of here? Fighter, player, ally. Oh yeah, here they are. Good. I'm going to copy and paste it into the where I'm going to put the video here for this. All right. We're going to change the name of this to the Rockstar class name, the class that I wrote down, which I need to look at it again. I honestly forgot the name of it. Here we go. Merc guy. So we're gonna just get these ones here. Merc and underscore guy is all we're gonna need here. Okay. I'm gonna rename this Merc guy. Press enter, and when I redo this to change him back, boom. Now Ike has a sprite. He has a body sprite that is using the copy paste entry that I have. Just remember that if you're going to copy paste the sprite and do it that way, you need to just go into where the game is dumped, wherever you have your game dumped. So here's my game version, here's fates, unit, and then there's body. It's all in kanji for all the stuff, but you can simply look it up by going to classes in Paragon and finding it through here by copy pasting this. So let's say I want to use the Dark Knight male one instead now. Okay, so now we find this, we copy the folder, we go into fates to where our project is again. So we're gonna go here, here, and here, and if I want to use it, we do merc underscore guy, oops, sorry for that bracket, and we go back again, we switch it, and boom, now he's on a horse, which looks absolutely terrible because his head is misplaced, but hey, you know, we do what we gotta do here, right? I think it's also because like doesn't have a horse sprite, which I'll explain in the video tutorial, or the sprite tutorial. But that is how you make classes. If you have any questions, please ping me in the Discord, ask in troubleshooting or modding chat, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.